Hi everyone, Jody Dean here. Sorry about the delay in the video publishing, but here I am. Of course, if you're new to this channel and you're new to these videos, well, hi! I help you with your spiritual awakening, embodying your soul purpose, and authentically expressing yourself. It's all about self-mastery ultimately, and that's why I believe we are here on this planet at this time, and it's part of the ascension process. So yes, and I'm going to walk around a little bit just so you're aware. I mean, can't really control this, but here we are. This video is part kind of pep talk, part inspiration, and part decode, defrag, decompression from the last 3 weeks since I made the last video when I was in Corfu, Greece. So what's happened? Well, you may have seen my post on here about this. So family holiday in France, and along with my mum and my dad and sister and nephew and sister's partner. And my dad has a fall. He falls whilst we're out and breaks his hip and his femur bone, which is the thigh bone. And wow, all my problems started with a good idea, which was going out to Honfleur without my dad, because he wanted to stay home and stay in, because he didn't feel like he had the energy or didn't want to be a burden or whatever, I don't know. So he was on his own and he fell, and yeah, it wasn't great. Definitely not the best ever. He was in a lot of pain. We found him, neighbors found him, and ambulance was called, and I then was in the ambulance going 140 kilometers per hour towards the hospital, and I was in shock, and there's my dad in the back in a lot of pain, and I'm thinking through the events of the day, thinking, how could I have done this better? How could I have avoided this? How could we have ensured that this didn't happen? Where did I go wrong? Where did we go wrong? My inner dialogue, my inner monologue was very loud, right? There was a lot of noise in my head and shouting in my head, really, right? Oh my goodness, right? This kind of, what? Emergency, what's next? What now? Am I doing everything I can right now? Etc. And interesting, because on the outside, I'm silent, my lips are closed. And yet on the inside, there's so much noise. And this is something I've noticed in life. Now, that's not always the case, by the way, because you can be in a very deep, peaceful place inside and be silent on the outside and calm and relaxed. But I'm sure if you'd looked at me during that time, I wouldn't have seemed so calm. Like, there would have been tension in my face. And that, of course, is showcasing the inner tension, the inner alarm, the inner emergency. So, and I've noticed this in life with people, that they can be very quiet but look confused or bemused, or let's say worried. And of course inside there's turmoil, there's a a shoot show going on, there's drama, there's high drama, there's a lot of noise. And it's just something to be aware of, that even though someone might not say something, their inner world could be very loud. And perhaps it's a call to presence, perhaps that's useful information, awareness, to be able to respond to them better, to serve them better. So I just wanted to share that little insight, because I became hyper aware of it, and I became hyper aware of the fact that I was quiet, and I'm like, I can't actually speak. I cannot, like, there's so much going on inside right now. I'm processing so much, and it's in real time, and it's happening as this is happening, as I'm in this ambulance, as we're shooting down the road at high speed. And anyway, my dad, he gets into the emergency room, and gets an X-ray and everything else, and we're there till late night, and we leave, and he gets an operation, and they operate on his hip and the bone, and they stick a pin in and stuff, and he's now recuperating. Well, fast forward to now, which is 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks on. I think it's literally 3 weeks today, actually. Could be, or is it 2 weeks? I was like, well, I think it's 3 weeks today that he has the full, about that, yeah. So, wow. Yes, it's 3 weeks today, yes. Anyway, 21 days, right? About this time, actually. Literally 3 weeks today. About this time. Oh, look, light effects. Ha! So then we're like, this whole situation, like the holiday is obviously transformed into something else. We still are able to do a couple of things that we wanted to do as a family, but there's all this caring for my dad, going to the hospital, dealing with the hospital administration, the doctors, the nurses, the surgeon, and then back home here in Jersey, all of that as well, and trying to do the communication and everything, and ultimately arrange for him to come back, because he has to be horizontal, so it gets very complicated. In the end, I end up staying there on my own, being with him to support him, and then coordinating with my sister to arrange the transfer and the air ambulance, and traveling with him from Normandy, flying in the air ambulance back to Jersey, where I'm now here, and I've been here a week. So there's the update. And in this emergency, I've been asking myself, what is emerging? What is coming out of this? What is emerging? What is the lesson? Because it's been a massive growth spurt, and I only started to feel normal again on Sunday, just gone, a couple of days ago. Until then, I've been in various states of nervous system overload, overwhelm, stress. And so, wow. Yes. And also very mindful about the human condition, and age, and mortality, and frailty, and all of those things. And so just kind of processing all of these things, and also the increased care that I've needed to step into. And this is ultimately what this has been about for me. If I could crystallize it, it's about care, and it's about love. I was also so touched by all the nurses, medical staff, and the doctors and surgeons, and their attitudes, and their energy, and their service, and their choice to be that and live that, right? And that's their vocation. That's what they do in the world. Being there for others, and helping others mend, and caring for others. And I was so touched by that, the care and the love, and that they chose that on their soul journey. It's just, wow, I felt so warm from that. Inspired, actually, deeply inspired. And the health profession was and is something that I've always been drawn to, and I did study health sciences for a year at university, and also shiatsu, and then got into the psychotherapy world through creative arts psychotherapy back in the day. And I've always maintained a very keen interest in holistic health, and yes, the new dimensions and new paradigms of health and understanding things in a much more integrated and holistic way. So that's always been the thread throughout my life since I was 11-ish. At 12, particularly when I found this book bought this book on self-healing and read it and was just like blown away. So that was revelation back then. Anyway, back to today. So I'm integrating all of this and just taking stock, and I invite you, with any emergencies that are happening in your life or have happened in your life, to take stock from the growth spurt and reflect upon what was I learning, what did I learn, what am I taking away from this, and particularly this is for me been about presence, and it's been about this sense of care, what really is care, and patience, being patient, patience, and love and attention. And through being there for my father, for my dad, and giving him my attention, giving him my care, and extending myself beyond what I felt comfortable with, beyond what initially felt comfortable with, going the extra mile, stepping up, I found new reserves of calm, new reserves of heartfulness, new reserves of presence, new reserves of energy, time and space as well. And this ultimately, I feel, is what this has been about, and what has been emerging is this higher dimension of love in myself and care for both him and my other family members and myself, and also really feeling my sister's strength and love and care as well, and really recognizing that, and that's been beautiful as well, and the family coming closer together because of this emergency has not gone unnoticed for me, and yeah, like also kind of forcing or birthing a readjustment and a reassessment of family and of who we are and what I want in life, and yes, our relationships and what is really important, because it kind of comes down to what is important, guys, ultimately, right? What are my priorities? What is truly important for me? And at times I've spent slices of my life in avoiding contact with family, avoiding contact with loved ones, because my priorities were elsewhere and I needed to go it alone. And now I'm in a place where, yes, actually family is so precious, and it's brought me into greater presence ultimately, and yeah, expansion in my heart, which I'm holding and touching right now, because I really feel that activation right now in myself, that heartfulness and that expansion. And this is ultimately what I've gleaned and gathered and received from this emergency, from what has emerged. This is what has come out. And yeah, of course, I had this other plan, my plan, which was to go back to Greece, go back to Corfu, and go to the Agape Zoe festival in Corfu with some amazing artists, musicians, and also friends, old and new, and to dance and to gather together in conscious co-creation. And Agape is love, and Zoe is life or peace, particularly life, I think. And yes, and that didn't happen. I had to let go of that completely. And be attentive and present to what was. And that was, in this case, the family emergency and my father's needs and care for my father. So, whew, wow, beautiful. So feeling rich from that, and also feeling inspired, newly inspired from sharing this as well, because yes, with a video I get to reflect as well as share and impart what is going on, and also talking about it helps me gain clarity as well. So that's also another benefit of all of this. So that's kind of been the gist of my last 3 weeks and what I've been learning, what has been my reality, really. And I'm feeling very blessed because of it all, because of the deeper relationships I now have with family, because of the heart expansion and the deeper dimension of care that I've accessed in self. And yes, so blessed for all of that. So wow. Thank you. How are you doing? How is your reality? Are you experiencing an emergency? Are you experiencing strife, struggle, challenges? Now, one thing my mum used to say to me is this proverb, which is a Chinese proverb. When I, especially in my teenage years, I was having issues, difficulties, challenges, right? Oh God, I can't do it, or whatever, or this is hard, or whatever. Mom, she would say to me, a few times she said this to me, the Chinese proverb, have you heard of it? Do you remember it? Oh good, he, she, they have problems. An opportunity for spiritual growth, for growth ultimately. And it's like, oh God. Oh, it's all so simple, isn't it? Not like, but at the same time, knowing internally there is a truth to that. And then learning to mine the gold in the darkness, in the trauma, in the drama, in the challenge, and to take responsibility ultimately. That's what it's all about. Stepping out of the victim and into agency, into empowerment, into taking our power back, into realizing we are co-creators and creators, and that I get to choose how my life pans out. I get to define what I do. It comes down to me. It comes to me, to my choice. I choose every moment what to do, what to say right now. I'm choosing these words. I'm choosing where to stand. I'm choosing the angle, right, with the camera and the sun, and how I hold the stand that I'm holding, where I walk right now, the words I'm using, the subject I'm choosing to focus on. It's all a choice. And of course, this is perhaps a more focused example of that, because I am creating right now. I'm making a video, right? I'm not being told what to do. I'm choosing this. I have it's my YouTube channel. It's my social media channel. It's my Facebook, right? It's mine. I choose it. I created it, and I can terminate it at any time, or I can shift it and change it at any time. It's my choice, which is pretty amazing, really. And to notice these choices that we have and that we make, and also to notice, the habits, right? The habitual choices, the choices we make, the recurring choices we make again and again and again around everything, with money, with love, with relationships, with possessions, with productivity, with our work, with our creativity, with food, with exercise, what we do with our bodies, what we do with our attention. It's all a choice. And particularly when you realize it's a choice, because we may not realize it's a choice. We may not realize that this is a choice, that we are choosing these things, because perhaps it is an unconscious behavior. Perhaps it is an automatic response, an automated response. Perhaps it is entrained. It has been entrained. Perhaps by our experiences from childhood, perhaps from our parents, perhaps from our teachers, perhaps from our peers. So, awareness is the key here, because when we bring the light of awareness, then we can see, oh, this is going on. We have clarity, right? Clarity is seeing clearly. What is seeing? Well, this is literally defining. That is a shape. This is a landscape. This is light, and that is dark, and that makes this picture. And this picture, in this case, is who you are and what's going on in your life. And perhaps you like that, or perhaps you don't. Perhaps you vibe with it, or perhaps you don't. Perhaps it is to your liking. Perhaps not. Perhaps it disgusts you. Perhaps it jazzes you. Perhaps it resonates deeply. Perhaps not. Perhaps you feel that there's more. Perhaps you want to go to a different dimension, a different paradigm. But this paradigm that you currently experiencing and are living in and are choosing unconsciously or consciously feels insubstantial. Feels, let's say, leaves you wanting. Feels unfulfilling. And so it's like, okay, what do I actually want? What lights me up? What excites me genuinely again and again and again? What makes me feel good? What makes me feel whole? What makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside? What gives me energy? What makes me glow again and again and again? What makes me feel expansive? What expands my reality? What shifts my perception in a way that serves me, that suits me, that ultimately suits me, rather than a momentary, a fleeting nicety, a fleeting fix, a momentary pain relief, a momentary high, right? These fleeting pleasures can be fun, of course. We all love a bit of pleasure. The taste of a cool drink, or a fresh fruit, or a gourmet dish, or a hug, or a kiss. The beauty in a painting. The thrill of going fast down the highway. The song of a bird in the dawn. And the taste of a chocolate bar. Good one, a one that we like. But then, we do that again 5 minutes later, and again, and eat another one, and another one, and another one. The pleasure becomes a bit painful, and the body's going, no more, definitely no more, this is not good. After the 5th chocolate bar in an hour, it's yucky, sick, imbalance. makes sickness, dis-ease. And so ultimately it's about self-care, right? It's about caring for self and filling up your own cup in a way that fulfills and brings substantial benefit, wellness, balance, joy, freedom, power in a substantial way, and noticing, discerning what is substantial and what is insubstantial. So eating the 5 chocolate bars, the example of the moment, gives momentary pleasures, and then it gives a high, right? It gives a high, and then it gives a sugar crash, and you're gonna feel weak, you're gonna feel down, sick, imbalance, extreme high, extreme low. And that's not sustainable, is it? That's not really a gain. Perhaps doing the experience teaches you that, if you decide to learn from it. If you choose to learn, if we choose to have a takeaway, to receive from that and go, oh, to harvest that experience and go, oh, okay, I shan't to do that again. I won't indulge in that way again. But then perhaps you decide jelly is your thing, and you do that with jelly or cream cakes, and then, oh, that, right? Oh, yeah, that doesn't work. I won't do that again. And of course, I'm using these sweets as an example for everything in life, for these instant gratifications, these momentary pleasures. And it's about discerning, ultimately, what is good for you. What fills you up? What lights you up in a substantial way? Yeah, you do your job, for example, and you try to harvest from your job that which is good. Yeah, a colleague that you love, that you like, team feeling or sense of service, or learning skills here, transferable skills, for example. I've done so many of these jobs, right? And then it's like, well, okay, then there's the negative. There's I'm kind of feeling like drained at the end of the day. I don't have any free time. Or in my free time, I'm just decompressing from the job. But I gotta keep a roof over my head, I got bills to pay, etc., etc., etc. And that could go on and on and on. If you keep choosing that, habitually choosing that, ultimately, is there a belief at the bottom of that that's saying, this is how I must earn money, or I should receive abundance, and this is how I must spend my time, and this is how my parents did it, and this is how their parents did it, and my colleagues do it, my peers do it. There is no other way. And again, it's discernment. It's checking in. Is that true? I always go back to this question. Ultimately, it's the question that frees me again and again and again. You may find that it frees you too, if you choose to answer it and ask it courageously. If you choose to look there, you don't have to go there. If you're violently happy all the time, then why would you? Unless you're like, I'm violently happy, but I also want more abundance. So that's also something to consider. Going back to what is substantial, what is true, what fills me up, what lights me up again and again and again. Not temporarily, but again and again and again. Okay. So, how does that land for you? Does that resonate? What's your experience? I'd love to know. I'd love to hear from you guys. It's been a while. It's been a few weeks. I'd love to hear your experience. If you're new, absolutely do share I do read all the comments and I try to answer them all. Yeah. So I'd love to, and if you like this, of course, if you enjoyed this, then please like the video and do share it if you feel like there's someone out there that could benefit. No obligation, no pressure. And the other thing to mention is simply that if you are looking for some major shifts in your life, I do help people with that. That's what I do ultimately. And if you're looking for more fulfillment, for more substantiality, authentic self-expression, living your truth, understanding your spiritual awakening, then we could be a fit. I would say let's start with a 20-minute clarity session where we just kind of get some clarity around what you're currently experiencing and those challenges you're facing, and also activating where you want to get to, what your dream is, what your passion is, what the picture is for you, for like where you want to be really in life, and do, and have, and what you want to activate, your highest frequency timeline, etc. And yeah, and then if it's a fit, it's a fit between us, then I'll share with you how we could work together. And it's, particularly good for procrastinators and people who are on the kind of light leadership path, who are stepping into a level of serving, of being a healer, a coach, a guide, a speaker, an artist, a creator. But this work can, is transferable to pretty much every human experience. That's been my experience. I've been doing this now full-time 5 years, and it's an absolute joy to witness others grow and step out of the limitations and realize, oh my God, it's there's so much more. Like, wow, I can actually have it all. So this is very fulfilling for me, and also it's actually so simple. The awakening process is really very, very simple, completely overthought and overthinked by all of us, and that's another wonderful thing that we can explore, coming back to self, the true self, and the heart, living from the heart, and also co-creating this new earth, this new reality that we're bringing in, those of us who feel called to do that and be that. Co-creating the new earth, shifting the timeline to the most positive, organic, heart-connected, harmonic reality that we can possibly imagine and co-create together. So great. 33 seconds, 33 minutes rather, and 3 seconds. 33 is my number. I'm a numerology 33. So, but ching. All right. So, I'm Jody Dean. Thank you so much for watching. And yes, love you. See you in the next video. Take care, and do subscribe if you feel this is great content. You'd like to see more and get notifications. Click the notification bell so you can get the updates of the new videos, etc. coming at ya in this time of craziness, and how everything is going more extreme and the energies are amping up. There's going to be so much more coming down the wazoo in terms of world events, which is going to be rocking everyone on this earth plane, shaking things up. And yeah, so give yourself the gift of these kind of insights, and just to keep you balanced, if nothing else, right? To keep you focused and balanced on your mission and your purpose, and not to be totally whacked out by the emergency that is happening and what is emerging. And so we can do it gracefully with love and presence. All right, take care. Bye for now. You are the sun.